Hey everyone, it's Priscilla from Princess Queen Crochet. I create colorful boho and hippie crochet patterns, and today is a long-awaited mini Wanderlust bandana tutorial. No, this is not the Big Wanderlust. My other bandana pattern is the mini one. It's a smaller version of that pattern with the same beautiful stitches. It fits a little bit smaller head, smaller hair. If you want like a more regular size bandana, this is for you, and it includes all of the beautiful stitches that are also in my Big Wanderlust bandana. Now here's a few things you need to know before you get started. Number one is, yes, there is a written pattern available with step-by-step instructions, tutorials for each stitch, and step-by-step pictures as well. That will be linked in the description. It's available on my website, Etsy, and Ravelry. Number two, there are timestamps for each row. I think that there's about 19 rows. There's timestamps for each row. In case you need to jump around, that will be in the description as well. And yeah, so I'm super excited to show y'all this pattern. It took me a while to make. I'm a little bit late releasing this, but let's go ahead and get into the video so you can make your own. If you want to support the channel, buy the pattern, like or comment below what colors you want to make this in. All right, so without further ado, let's get into the pattern tutorial video thing. Let's get into it. So for this pattern, you're going to need a 3.5mm hook if it focuses. Okay, just trust me, it's a 3.5mm hook, which is also E. And also you're going to need lightweight yarn, which is weight 3. I'm using Lion Brand Kobo, which is half bamboo, half cotton yarn. It's a lightweight 3 yarn. It's in denim, olive, and beige. Now, just a warning, bamboo yarn, well, this bamboo yarn, it splits super easily. It's a little annoying to work with. As you can see right here up at the end, it splits easily, but it turns out beautiful and it's super soft. So be wary of what you use. Once again, beautiful yarn, but it does split it does split easily. It's like a little annoying to work with, but that's what I used for this bandana. Also, the next most important thing is the gauge. The gauge is 14 stitches by 11 rows is 4 by 4 inches. So if you don't know what gauge is, I did put a video down below in the description. It's super important for this pattern because I crochet very loose and people usually crochet very tightly. If you don't have the right gauge for this pattern, it's not going to come out flat like this, or the right length. And also the width of this bandana from this part, the front, to the other end is about 16 inches, and the length from the tip all the way to the front is 10.5 inches. Just so you guys know the measurements of this bandana. Once again, the gauge is really important. Definitely make sure that you get that right so that your bandana lays flat and turns out correctly. Without further ado, let's get into the video, or the tutorial. You know what I meant. Alright, so just so you guys know, if you don't know any of the stitches that I mentioned, I have tutorials for every stitch that we're going to do in this bandana in the description, because this video isn't like for complete beginners who don't know anything. It's for people who can know basic stitches, so everything's in the description. If you don't know it, you can go to the video, watch how to do it, come back, and finish your bandana. It's all in the description. Okay, let's start. We're going to put a slip knot on our hook. All right, slip knot. So we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to slip stitch to the first chain we made to create a circle. So go to the first chain that I made and do a slip stitch. And if you open up the chains, there is a circle. Now in this circle, we're going to, first we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to double crochet 7 into the circle that we just made. So chain 1, and then into the circle we're going to double crochet 7, which means, like, pretend like you're going into a stitch, but instead you're going to be going into the circle. The circle is now your stitch that you're going into. So double crochet 1, back into the circle, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now we have double crocheted 7. I'm just double checking. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. All right. Now we're going to turn our work for round 2. All right. After your work is turned, let's do round 2. We're going to start off with a chain 1 as per usual. And then we're going to double crochet 2 into 1 stitch and then chain 2. And we're going to end up repeating this. So into your first stitch, that's our chain, that's our first stitch. We're going to double crochet 2, 1 into that same stitch, one more. If y'all heard the rain outside, I'm sorry, we're having like a tropical storm that might become a hurricane, so it's gonna be super rainy and windy. So if y'all hear rain, I'm sorry. Okay, so double crochet 2 in 1 stitch and then chain 2. And then we're going to skip the next stitch. We're going to repeat this until we get to the last stitch. So skip 1 stitch. We're going to skip that. Into the next stitch, we're going to double crochet 2. 1, 2. Then we're going to chain 2. We're going to skip the next stitch. And into the next one, we're going to double crochet 2. And we're going to chain 2. All right, and then into your last stitch. So we're going to skip 1 again. So skip a stitch. Into the last stitch, we're going to double crochet 2. Ooh, got some yarn barf right here. Anyway, so for row 2, we have double crochet 2, chain 2, skip 1, repeat to the last stitch, which we just double crochet 2 into. All right, let's change our yarn. Oh, that's only if you're following along with what I have. Change my yarn, and we're going to go into row 3. All right, I changed to beige. This was olive. I switched up to the beige color. And let's do row 3. So as always, we're going to chain 1 in the beginning of our row. And then into, so see the 2 double crochet that we just did to finish that last row. We're going to do 2 double crochet in between those 2 double crochet. So 1 and 2. All right, and then into this next chain space, this chain 2 space, we are going to do a double crochet 2, chain 3, so 2 double crochets, chain 3, and then 2 more double crochets in that same chain 2 space from the last row. Right, so in this chain 2 space, we have 2 double crochets, a chain 3, and 2 more double crochets. All right, so next we have 2 more double crochets from the previous row. And then in between those 2 double crochets, we're going to do 2 double crochets. So in between those stitches, do 2 double crochets. Love me when we get some tangles. Okay. So into the next chain 2 space, we're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 3, 2 double crochets again. All right, so next chain 2 space, double crochet 2, chain 3, double crochet 2. Oop, got a little twisted up there. Hold up. Okay, there we go. Then double crochet 2. Okay. And then once again in between the next 2 double crochets from the previous round, do 2 double crochets in between those 2 stitches. Trying to go slower for you guys. So my last tutorial was way too fast, so I'm trying to slow down so y'all don't get mad at me in the comments. If I happen to go too fast, pause it or use the playback settings to slow it down. But I'm trying to go slower this time for you guys because I heard all your comments. Okay, so into the next chain 2 space right here, we're going to do double crochet 2, chain 3, double crochet 2 again. But yeah, that's why I personally like written patterns, because I can just go at my own speed. Obviously, if they're written well, you know, a lot of people don't have their patterns written well, which is kind of sad, but I like written patterns more than video. But that's just me, obviously depending on what it is. If I'm like learning a new stitch, I enjoy video tutorials more. Anyway, okay, so we just did the double crochet 2, chain 3, double crochet 2 in that last chain 2 space. Now we have these last 2 double crochets of our round, and then in between them, we're going to do 2 double crochet again. So let me know in the comments if y'all have also made my Big Wanderlust Bandana, which is like a bigger version of this. Let me know in the comments if you've made that. Anyway, okay, so that is the end of row 3. Let's go on to row 4. I'm real quick switching to denim. Goodness, this yarn is just looking not so good. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's go on to row 4. So let's turn our work. Okay, so for this row, we're gonna single crochet in the back loop of every double crochet stitch, and then in every chain 3 space, we're going to do 3 single crochets inside of it. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's chain 1 to start our row. In the back loop of every double crochet, we are going to do a single crochet stitch. I'm trying to like look through the camera as I'm working, so like looking at it like not through the camera, and it's like my eyes are like confused. Okay, so goodness, I gotta look at it not through the camera so I can do it correctly. So we just single crochet in the back loop of those first 4 double crochets, got the back loop, and now we're coming up here to the chain 3 space, and we're gonna single crochet 3 inside of that chain 3 space. All right, 3 single crochets there. Now we have like 6 more double crochet, so we're gonna single crochet in the back loop of all of those double crochets. And a lot of you ask me why I don't do tutorials more, like my pants pattern. It's because they take forever, y'all. I already didn't post it like a video for like 3 weeks, so like I couldn't imagine trying to fit like a huge, like maybe one day, maybe like in parts or something, because like I enjoy them. I enjoy making good tutorials, But these long ones, like after like 10 minutes, my brain freaks out and it's like, why are we doing the same thing? So especially like when it comes to me working. Anyway, okay, so we just did single crochet in the back loop of those 6 double crochet. Now we're at another chain 3 space. So in that chain 3 space, 3 more single crochet. And we're just like crocheting over that whole chain. All right, more back loops. And if y'all hear a dog barking, I'm sorry, my neighbors have dogs. It's just like there's only so many times I can pause and restart recording, but there will be some background noise, like the rain, the dogs, me touching my face, you know, just all the noises. All right, let's go into the back loop of these last 4 double crochets. Sorry, my neighbor's dog is outside, but the other neighbor's dog is outside. They're having like a barking contest, I think. Anyway, we're gonna single crochet into the back loop of these last double crochets, and that ends round 4. Look at these colors together, absolutely beautiful. All right, so I'm going to switch colors again, I think. Yes, I'm gonna go back to olive, and we're gonna start round 5. I mean, sorry, I keep saying round. We're gonna start row 5. All right, let's turn our work and do row 5. Chain 1, beginning of your row. Sorry, make sure that thing is focused. Okay. And now we're going to single crochet into the first stitch. All right, and now we're going to do treble crochet. We're going to do treble crochet 8 times into this chain 3 space from row 3. So I'm going to go into here and do our 8 treble crochets. Oops, jack that stitch up. Once again, this yarn splits, so that gets a little annoying sometimes, but this yarn is so pretty. Makes it a little worth it. I love like the double like motion. I don't know, for some reason doing treble crochet, it's like sassy and fun. I don't know, it makes sense to me. It just feels good to do the double wrap around before you start. 1 2 3 4 5 6. I forgot, let me slow down. I'm so sorry, I have to remind myself to. It's like when I do like treble crochet, I just want to go like really fast. It's just that kind of stitch for me. Let me just get this knot apart. Okay, so I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Let's do one more. All right, so we have 8 treble crochet in that chain 3 space from row 3. Now we are going to, sorry, make sure I'm following my instructions correctly. We are going to skip 3 stitches, and then in the next stitch, after you skip 3, we're going to do a slip stitch, double crochet 8, and another slip stitch. So let's skip 3 stitches. 1 2 3. Into that next stitch, the 4th one away, we're going to slip stitch, and in that same stitch we're going to double crochet 8, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and then slip stitch in that same stitch. And when you finish that slip stitch, then you're going to skip 3 more stitches. So 1, 2, and oops, make sure the camera's focused, sorry. All right, we're going to skip 3 more. 1, 2, 3, and then in the next stitch, this one, you're going to do a slip stitch, a chain 1, in the same stitch, double crochet 2, in the same stitch, do a treble crochet, and still in the same stitch, 2 more double crochets, 1, 2, and then another slip stitch in the same stitch. All right, now we're going to skip 3 more stitches, 1, 2, 3, and then into the next stitch, you're going to do a slip stitch and double crochet 8 into the same stitch. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then in the same stitch, do a slip stitch. All right, here's it so far. And then we are going to go to that chain 3 space from round 3 right here, and we're going to do 8 treble crochet into it. I was not counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, we have 8 treble crochet in that chain 3 space from round 3, and now we're going to single crochet into the last stitch of the row, and that is going to end, get it in there. That's going to end row 5. Here's how it looks so far. All right, at the end of row 5, I just changed over to beige, and we're going to start row 6. So to begin, chain 1. Ooh, let's focus the camera. Hold on. All right. So we're going to do every single stitch in the back loop on row 6. All right, so I'm going to try to go really slow because this row is a lot of different stitches. We're going to start off with a double crochet in the back loop. Don't forget, every stitch is going to be in the back loop. Starting off with a double crochet. Then, next stitch, half double crochet. Then, half double crochet. Oops. Single crochet, single crochet, in the next stitch 2 single crochets, so what we have so far is double crochet, half double, single, single, 2 single in 1 stitch. All right, let's continue. single crochet in the next stitch, then half double crochet, half double crochet again in the next stitch, and then into the next stitch, which will be a slip stitch. It's going to be kind of small, you don't want to end up skipping it. Double crochet into that slip stitch, which is your next stitch. So double crochet. All right, now let's continue. Next stitch, half double crochet, then half double crochet again, your next stitch, then single crochet, single crochet, and then in the next stitch, 2 single crochets, then in the next stitch, single crochet, then half double crochet, then half double crochet again. All right, now we are going to skip over the next 2 slip stitches. If you look really closely, they're there. We just worked into this stitch. So there's a slip stitch, sorry, there's a slip stitch, and there's another slip stitch. Try to focus the camera. 1, 2 slips. We're going to skip over those 2. We're going to go into the next stitch, which is going to be a half double crochet. That's what we're going to work into next. Okay, so into that next half double crochet stitch, after you skip those 2 slip stitches, don't forget we're working the back loop, you're going to do a half double crochet into that stitch and not split your yarn like I did. All right, and then into the next stitch, you're going to do another half double crochet, and then into the next stitch, you're going to do 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to ignore that. And then into the next 2 stitches, you're going to do half double crochets. So 1 and 2. Okay, now we're going to skip over the next 2 slip stitches and chains. So there's 2 slip stitches, this is a hard word to say. There's 2 slip stitches and a chain we're going to skip over. There's a chain, slip stitch, slip stitch. So skip over 3. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to skip over those and go right into the 8 double crochet from the previous round. That's what we're going to start crocheting into. So we're going to skip over that 1, 2, 3 right here. The next thing that we're going to do is a half double crochet, next stitch, half double crochet, next stitch, single crochet, and then into the next stitch, another single crochet. All right, into the next stitch, 2 single crochets, 1, 2, oops, and then into the next stitch, another single crochet, and then into the next 2 stitches, half double crochets, half double, next stitch, half double. All right, and now Into the next stitch, which will be a slip stitch, that little tiny thing right there, we're going to do a double crochet into the next stitch. This is one of those rows where you really got to pay attention. I already messed up, had to re-record this row like 3 different times. Anyway, all right, so into the next stitch, half double crochet. Next is a half double crochet again, then single crochet, oops, then another single crochet, and then 2 singles in the next stitch, 1, 2, and then next stitch, half double, next stitch, half double again, oops guys, I'm so sorry, so sorry. Take out those last 2 half doubles. I forgot. After the, I'm so sorry guys, after the 2 single crochet in the same stitch, there's another single crochet stitch. My bad. Okay, so after the 2 singles in one stitch, single crochet, and then in the next 2 stitches, half double. This is why I had to redo the thing like 3 times. I kept like missing a stitch. So half double, and then double crochet in the next stitch. Oh, in the last stitch. This is one of those rounds where, whew, it's a lot to record. So here's how it looks so far. I am going to change, no I'm not, I'm going to keep the same color, just kidding. All right, let's go on to the next row. Okay, so row 7. We're going to chain 1 to start our row, and we're going to do double crochet, oops, chain 1 and skip 1. You're going to do this 11 times total. So double crochet, chain 1, skip 1. So we just skipped 1. We're going to do double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, skip a stitch. Make sure y'all know what I'm talking about. Just double check. So I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna go a little fast. Y'all can feel free to pause it and do your double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, 11 times total. And then you can catch up with me when I get to the end of this part. Some parts where you're just repeating the same thing over and over again, I'm not going to go super slow on those parts because I feel like I don't need to. So, okay, I did it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. 9, 10, 11. So you should have your double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, 11 times. I'm gonna check real quick without looking through my camera, because the camera, oh wait, see, I already messed up because I can't, looking through the camera is hard when I'm crocheting. So let's just redo that last one. I didn't skip one. Alrighty. Okay, so after you do that 11 times, you should have 11 double crochets and 11 chain 1s. Now you're going to skip another stitch. So see how it's like skip 1? So we're going to end up skipping 2 stitches after our last double crochet. So we're going to skip 2. 1, 2. We're going to go into the next stitch. Into the next stitch, you're going to do a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, 3, and then chain 1. So let's do it. So after your last double crochet, skip 2 stitches, and then into the next stitch, double crochet 3, 1, 2, oops, 3, and then chain 3, I'm sorry, chain 2, 1, 2, and then into that same stitch, double crochet 3. 1, 2, 3, and then chain 1. Okay, now you're going to skip 2 stitches. 1, 2, into that next stitch. So still skip 1, 2, 1, 2, into the next stitch. You're going to double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, until you get to the last stitch, which you're gonna end up doing this 10 times. In the last stitch, you're going to double crochet. So double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, next stitch, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, then I'm going to keep repeating that until you get to the last stitch. So let me know in the comments what colors you guys are using for your mini Wanderlust bandana. I would love to know. I actually want to make some in a bunch of different colors for my shop and see how they sell. People have already asked for this color combo, like my original one. Probably gonna make a few of these until the yarn runs out. All right, so we did a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 until we got to the last stitch, and we're going to do a double crochet into that last stitch. And that is the end of round 7. I'm going to change my color back to denim, and then we'll start round 7. Then we'll start round 8, row 8. Y'all can see I've been recording for a while because I'm starting to say things wrong, so I'm sorry. We're ending row 7, going to go into row 8. I'll catch y'all then. Alright, so let's do round 8. It's going to be a simpler row. So we're going to start off with a chain 1, beginning of our row, and then we're going to half double crochet in every single double crochet and chain from the previous row until we get to the middle of our row where that chain 2 is. And the chain 2 is in between those 3 double crochets on either side of it. So let's start half double crocheting in every, sorry, this looks really jacked up. Okay, in every double crochet and in every chain. And for the chains, I just go right underneath the whole thing. So like here's a regular stitch with a double crochet, and then with the chain, I just go underneath the whole thing. I don't try to like get in the front loop or back loop of the chain. I just kind of go under it. First, gonna double crochet with this beautiful splitting yarn until we get to the middle of the bandana. One thing I love about this bandana, other than recording it obviously, is how every single row is different. So you know, it's really hard to get bored with this project. So I think it'd be, you know, I thought of this idea of just, you know, projects that'll keep you interested, having a bunch of those and having them be like a bunch of like different stitches, so that you don't like want to just put it down and not pick it up because it's like the same stitch over and over and over again. So I don't know, I enjoy the variety. It keeps my brain engaged. It's definitely not one of those patterns though that you can like, you know, watch TV with, in my opinion, because it just every row is different. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. It's up to you, you know, what you like to do when you crochet. But yeah, it's just definitely one that keep your brain engaged. And it doesn't take too long to make. If you're like fast, about an hour and a half. If you're like slower, maybe like a few hours, but not too long to get it done. All my testers like finished in like around a day for all of theirs, so that was fun. Okay, here we are at the middle of the row. I'm going to go ahead and half double crochet in all of those double crochets. There's 3 of them. So let's show you guys how it looks so far. We half double crocheted in every double crochet in every chain. And now we're at the middle of the row where that chain 2 is. In that chain 2 space right here, you're going to do 2 half double crochets all in the same space, then chain 2, and do 2 more half doubles in that same chain 2 space. And then you're going to continue half double crocheting in every single chain and double crochet from the previous row. And we're going to start that off by crocheting into those next 3 double crochets. This yarn is so frustrating to work with because it keeps splitting. Goodness. Okay, see that right there? I'm just gonna leave that alone and pick it up in the next row because I'm not going back to fix it. Okay, what a nice silence of crocheting. Okay, so I just got to the end of that row. That was row 8. And here's how row 8 looks. Got a little picot thing going on. Let's get into row 9. And look at that sky. It is absolutely beautiful outside. Let's go catch a sunset one of these days. Anyway. Alright, row 9. Chain 1 to begin your row as usual. And then we're going to do some more repeats. And we're going to be working in the front loop for every single thing that we do. So front loop, don't forget. Okay. I am about to say skip a stitch, but I messed up, so I'm adding this in. So to start your row, start with a single crochet. And then I'm going to say skip a stitch. So do a single crochet first and then continue on with this pattern. My bad, guys. So skip 1 stitch and into the next stitch, we're going to do 5 double crochet. All in the same front loop. All right, and then after you do those 5 double crochet in the same stitch, skip a stitch and into the next stitch. Don't forget front loop only. Do a single crochet. You're going to repeat that 6 times all together. So skip the next stitch. In the next stitch, do front loop only. Do 5 double crochet. That's fine. That's 4. Helps if you count, you know. And then skip 1 stitch and then do single crochet in the front loop of the next stitch. Gonna repeat that 4 more times. So what you're repeating is skip a stitch, in the next stitch 5 double crochet, skip a stitch, single crochet. That's what you're going to be repeating all together 6 times. You're going to end up with 6 of these humps. So just so you know, skip a stitch, 5 double crochet, skip a stitch, single crochet. 6 times total. I'll meet up with you guys after you're done with all these little humps. Okay, so now I've done that repeat 6 times. It's also called the shell stitch. So in case you all didn't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And I ended on that single crochet. All right, let's get into the next part of the pattern. So we're going to be skipping these next few stitches and going right into that chain 2 space in the middle of our bandana. Chain 2 space, that's where we're going to be going into next. So into that chain 2 space, do 4 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And then back into that same chain 2 space, you're going to double crochet 4. Try to remember to slow down. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now we're going to skip the next 2 stitches. So we're going to skip 1 and 2. 1, 2. We're going to go into the next stitch and we're going to do a single crochet. Now we're going to do that same repeat that we did at the beginning of the round, which is, oh, I'm so sorry guys, don't forget, like I just did, that we need to be crocheting into the front loop of our stitches. So sorry, skip 2 stitches and then single crochet in the front loop of that stitch. If you've remembered, unlike me, good job. All right, so we're going to do that same repeat we did at the beginning of the round. Skip a stitch, into the next stitch, front loop, double crochet 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then skip a stitch, and then into the next stitch, front loop only, do a single crochet. So repeat that until you get all the way to the end of your row. You're going to end on a single crochet. So don't forget, you're going to skip 1, double crochet 5 in the next one, skip 1, single crochet. That's it. Repeat that until you get to the end of your row. You're going to end on a single crochet. I'll catch up with you guys when we get to the end of this row. Okay, I just single crocheted in the last stitch of my round. There are my 6 shell stitches on this side, which is the 5 double crochets and the single crochets in between them. Here's the middle of the round of the row, and then here's the beginning. So you should have 6 shells, that middle one with the kind of picot right there, and then 6 more. All right, that is row whatever we're on, and let's get my brain. Let's get on to, okay, row 10 is next. All right, so let's start round 10. So chain 1 to start your row, and then into the first stitch you're going to do a double crochet. This is all about to be a part of a repeat. You're going to repeat 6 times. So start off with the double crochet, chain 1, skip 2 stitches, and then single crochet, and then chain 1, skip 2 stitches. That's what you're going to repeat 6 times total. So just in case, we're going to do it one more time. So on the last repeat, the last part of it was skipping 2 stitches. So next, double crochet, chain 1, skip 2 stitches, single crochet, chain 1, skip 2 stitches. You're going to repeat that until you have it 6 times total. So double crochet, chain 1, skip 2 stitches, single crochet, chain 1, skip 2 stitches, and then start that repeat with the double crochet. So you're going to do that 6 times total, And I will meet up with you guys once you do that. Here's how it looks. All right, so I've now done the repeat of the double crochet, chain 1, single crochet, I jacked it up already. So I did the repeat of the double crochet, chain 1, skip 2, single crochet, chain 1, skip 2, 6 times total, and here's how it looks. There's a double crochet in every single crochet from the previous round, and there's a single crochet in the third double crochet from those shell stitches from the previous round. Okay, so we ended off with single crocheting, chaining 1, and skipping 2. So into the next stitch, after we skip those 2, we're going to double crochet into the next stitch. And then we're going to chain 2. And we're going to skip those next 4 double crochets. And we're going to go into this chain space. Into this chain space, we're going to do 3 double crochets all in the same space, which is the middle of our bandana. So 1, 2, 3 double crochets. You're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then back in that same chain space, we're going to do 3 more double crochets. All right, so we have 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet in that middle chain space, the middle of our bandana. All right, now we're going to chain 2. And we're going to skip the next 4 double crochet. And then into the next stitch, we're going to start another repeat. So skip 4. Into the next stitch, we're going to do a double crochet. And then chain 1, just like in the beginning, chain 1, skip 2 stitches. In the next stitch, single crochet, chain 1, skip 2 stitches, into the next stitch, double crochet. Chain 1, skip 2 stitches, single crochet, chain 1, skip 2 stitches. So you're going to basically repeat what you did the first time around, starting off with the, here's the repeat, double crochet, chain 1, skip 2 stitches, single crochet, chain 1, skip 2. Keep repeating that all the way down until you get to the end of your row. You're going to end up with a double crochet in the last stitch, but I'll meet up with you there to make sure that you do the end part correctly. So don't forget, double crochet, chain 1, skip 2 stitches, single crochet, chain 1, skip 2, and then restart the repeat with the double crochet. All right, I'll catch up with you guys at the end of the row. All right, I just finished that last repeat, double crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, and we're skipping 2, and then in the last stitch we're going to do a double crochet, and that ends round 10. And here's how round 10 looks. All right, let's go into round 11, or row 11. And this video is sponsored by me, the Stitch Queen Crochet. Hi, I'm Priscilla, and I create colorful boho and hippie crochet patterns. I also do a lot of stitch tutorials and things here on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram or TikTok and Facebook. I also have a crochet group over there, so you definitely want to go join. I also have my written patterns on my website, Etsy, and Ravelry. Everything is linked below. Now, thanks for watching, and back to the video. Okay, so for row 11, we'll start off with chaining 1 to start our row, and then we're going to single crochet into the first stitch. All right, and now we are going to do single crochet, 2 single crochets into every single chain space we have until we get to right here in the middle of our row. So in every single chain 1 space and this chain 2 space right there, we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches. And we're going to end up skipping over all of the single crochets and double crochets in this row. So just to make sure you guys understand, we are single crocheting 2 into this chain space, skipping over that single crochet, into the next chain space, we're single crocheting 2, skipping over double crochet, and continuing with single crocheting 2 just into all of the chain spaces. And now real quick, you all can pause it and do all of that, but I'm going to go ahead and get to the middle of the row, and I'll also show you guys how it looks before I continue on. Alrighty. Okay, so here's how it looks. We have done 2 single crochets into every single chain space, skipping over all of the single crochets and double crochets. All right, and now we are here to the middle of our row. So you're going to single crochet into each of those 3 double crochets. So we're going to single crochet in those double crochets. And then into the chain 3 space, you're going to do single crochet, single crochet, chain 2, and then 2 more single crochets, 1 and 2. So in that chain 3 space, we have 2 single crochets, 2 chains, and 2 more single crochets. And now we're going to go into the next 3 double crochet, and we're going to do a single crochet into each of the next 3 double crochets. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing we did at the beginning of the row. We're going to do 2 single crochets in every single chain space, and then when we get to the end of the row, we're going to single crochet in the last stitch. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm like taking little breaks in between rows because this tutorial is taking a little minute, which is fine. I need to like learn to break up these into multiple days instead of like waiting till the last minute and doing it all in one day, because the written pattern is completely done, but I was going to release it and I was like, oh my gosh, I did not do the tutorial for it. So in last week when I was supposed to do the tutorial, I did not, because I had 1,000 other things going on with my other business and other things. So I feel like I'm doing it last minute, I'm trying to finish it all in one day. We'll see how that goes, but I'm watching a cheesy Christmas movie. That's what I enjoy, because it's not like full of emotion and draining and takes so much of my attention. So I'm watching a little Christmas movie on YouTube while I'm doing this as little breaks. All right, so let me know what y'all like to watch for like a little break. I don't know. I don't like a bunch of like super emotionally driven stuff, because I'm already emotional enough. I don't need more emotional stress in my life. Anyway, that's my little mini TED talk. So we have 2 single crochets in every single chain space, and then our last stitch of the row, we're going to do a single crochet. All right, and got a little split yarn, and that is row 11. Let's get on to the next row. All right, we are now on to row 12. So we're going to start with the good night. We're going to start with a chain 1 to start our row. And on this row, we're going to do everything in the back loop. Not the front loop, but the back loop, because you don't know what the back loop is. Anyway, okay, so we're going to start off with half double crocheting. It's going to be an easier, I'm going to say simpler row. We're going to half double crochet in the back loop of every stitch until we get to the middle of our row, that chain 2 space right there. So middle of the row. So we're going to just do a half double crochet in the back loop of every single stitch until we get to that chain 2 space in the middle of our row. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and y'all can pause the video and catch up on all of your half double crochets in the back loop, don't forget. And I'll meet up with you guys when we get to the middle of the row to that chain 2 space. So here's how it's looking. Start off in the back loop. All right, I'll meet up with you guys when we go all the way to here, the chain 2 space. All right. Okay, so I have half double crocheted in the back loop of every stitch until we get to here, the chain 2 space, and into that chain 2 space, I'm going to do 2 half double crochets, 1, 2, and then we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then we're gonna not gonna chain 2 more. Oh my goodness, we're going to do 2 more half double crochets into that chain 2 space. I'm sorry y'all if I like stumble over my words. When I record for a while, this is kind of what happens, but it's okay. I'll correct myself whenever I can. So in that chain 2 space, 2 half doubles, 2 chains, 2 more half doubles. And you probably guessed it, we are going to continue half double crocheting in the back loop down the rest of that yarn split again, down the rest of the row until we get all the way down and do it every single stitch. So we're just going to do that real quick, and I'll catch up with you guys at the end of the row to show you how it looks. But here's how we're going: half double crochets in the back loop of every stitch. I'll meet up with you guys when we get to the end of the row. Alright, and here's the end of the row. You have half double crocheted in every single stitch. And here's how the end of row, what were we on? End of row 12 looks. Alright, let's get on to row 13. Alright, the lighting might have changed because welcome to day 2 of recording. I'm excited to get back into this today. Let's start off with row 13. I changed my yarn again and turn my work. Alright, so on row 13, we are going to be doing every single stitch into the 3rd loop. Linked below it in specifics what 3rd loop is. If you don't know what it is, you know how we usually go into the top V right here? Instead, because we did a half double crochet stitch, there is a 3rd loop right here that we're going to be going into on this row. So we're not going to be going into the normal V. Turn your work towards you. We're going to be going into this 3rd loop right here. Okay, let's get started. We're going to have some more repeats to do. So as always, chain 1 to start. I think I already chained 1. Yeah, I already chained 1. Chain 1 to start your row. And we're going to do, we're going to start off with a double crochet, a chain, and a chain 1. So don't forget, we're going into the 3rd loop right here. If I can get my hook in there. Okay, there we go. Start off with a double crochet and a chain 1, and then we're going to skip the next stitch. We're going to go into the next one. So here are some repeats that we're going to do. We're going to do a 3 double crochet cluster stitch, a chain 1, and then we're going to skip a stitch. We're going to repeat that 16 times total. So let me show you guys what, in case you don't know what the 3 double crochet cluster stitch is. It's basically a 3 double crochet together kind of. So we're going to skip this next stitch. We're going to go into the next one, into the 3rd loop. So we're gonna yarn over, right first, sorry, insert it into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Once again, there is a tutorial in the description below how to do this, but I'm going to show you guys for this row. Then we're going to yarn over, put it back into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. We're going to do it one more time. Yarn over, put that hook into your stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, put through 2 loops. So you can see we have 3 half finished double crochet stitches. Now we're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 loops on our hook. And that is 3 double crochet cluster stitch and chain 1. We're going to do that, chain 1, skip 1. I'll show you guys how to do it one more time. So we did a cluster stitch for chain 1. We're going to skip 1, go into the next one. So skip that one, go into this one. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, put it through the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. One more time. Yarn over, put it into your stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. If y'all hear rain, I am so sorry. It just started to pour. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops on your hook, and then chain 1. So keep doing that. Do a cluster stitch, chain 1, skip 1. Cluster stitch, chain 1, skip 1. 16 times total. So you're going to end up having 16 of these clusters total. All right, I'll catch up with you guys when we do this 16 times. So we're gonna take a little break because it is pouring down. I'm gonna keep recording after it slows down. I'm not naked, I swear. All right, I'll catch you guys in a little bit. Literally less than 2 to 3 minutes later, it is bright and sunny again. This is what it's like in Florida, y'all. It rains for either 3 minutes or 3 days. Let's get back to the pattern. Okay, so I've done the 3 double crochet cluster stitch, chain 1, skip 1 stitch 16 times, as you can see. And now we are up here to the middle of our bandana, and here's a chain 2 space in the middle that we're about to go into. And if y'all heard thunder, I'm sorry, it's still thundering even though it's not raining anymore. Okay, so into this chain 2 space, we are going to do 3 double crochets. Right, 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then that same chain 2 space we're going to do 3 more double crochets. All right, so we have 3 double crochets, a chain 2, and 3 double crochets in that same chain 2 space. All right, so now we are going to start another repeat part of the row where we're going to do the 3 double crochet cluster stitch, chain 1, skip 1 16 times. Now make sure that you're working in the 3rd loop, don't forget. So we're going to start off with, oh, I'm so sorry, chain 1 first, and now we're going to do the 3 double crochet cluster stitch. So forget chain 1 and then do the 3 double crochet cluster stitch, chain 1, skip a stitch, and repeat. 3 double crochet cluster stitch, chain 1, skip 1. And I'll meet you guys at the end when we get to the last stitch. In case you want to move ahead, we're going to be double crocheting into the last stitch, but I'll still meet up with you guys at the end of this row. Alright, so here we are at the end of the row. I have done 16 of the 3 double crochet cluster stitches and chain 1s and skip 1s, and we are going to do a double crochet into the last stitch to finish off this row without splitting the yarn. Okay, we're definitely going to split the yarn. We're splitting the yarn. Okay. All right, and that is the end of row 13. Here's how it looks with all the cute little clusters. All right, let's go on to row 14. All right, row 14. Give it up for row 14 for all my SpongeBob fans. All right. So we're going to start off with a chain 1 as usual. All right, and we're also going to do some repeats in this row as well. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be crocheting a half double crochet stitch on top of every single double crochet, the first one, and all of the and I cannot talk, and all of the double crochet cluster stitches as well. And then in between each of the cluster stitches, we're going to be double crocheting into the skip stitch of the row below it, and I will show you, so do not worry. Don't worry. So we're gonna start off with a half double crochet in our first stitch, and instead of going into that chain 1 that we did, we're going to be doing a half double crochet into the skipped stitch below it. So I'm gonna go down below right here into that skip stitch. We're gonna do a double crochet. All right, so here's how that looks. Now we're going to go and do a half double crochet on top of the next cluster stitch. All right, oh, that yarn didn't, that kind of split kind of badly. Do that one again. Okay, and then instead of going to that chain 1, we're going to do a double crochet into the skip stitch below it. I try to do these double crochets very, very loosely, as you can see. so that they reach the top. All right, next half double crochet is going to go into the top of that next cluster stitch. And then we're going to crochet a double crochet very loosely into the skip stitch instead of going to that chain. So you're going to keep continuing this until we get to the middle of the row. So I'll meet up with you guys when we get up to here. And don't forget that we're going to be doing a double crochet after this cluster as well. Right before we get to the 3 double crochet, we're going to do a double crochet right here too. But I will do that when I meet you guys at the middle of the row. Alright, so I have done the half double crochets and the double crochets all the way up to we get to the 3 double crochets before the middle of our row, that chain 2 space. So I'm going to make sure that I do a double crochet stitch right in between that last cluster stitch and these 3 double crochets right here. All right, and then we are going to do half double crochets on top of all of the double crochets. All right, and then into the chain 2 space right here, we are going to do a half double crochet, chain 1, and then another half double crochet. And then we're gonna half double crochet into the next 3 double crochet. All right, and then we're going to not forget to put a double crochet in between these double crochets and that double crochet 3 cluster. All right, and now we're going to continue that half double crochet on top of every single cluster stitch and the double crochet into the row below it. You're going to do the same thing that you did at the beginning of your row. So half double crochet on top of the next cluster stitch and then double crochet into the skip stitched below instead of going into that chain 1 from the previous row. So continue doing that all the way until you get to the end, and I'll meet up with you guys at the end of the row. Alright, so I just did the half double crochet on top of the last cluster stitch, and now I'm going to do a double crochet into the skip stitch below, and then to finish off the row we're going to do a half double crochet on that last stitch. Alright, and that's how we end this row. Let's go on to our next row. Alright, let's start row 15. So chain 1 to start your row as usual, and then we are going to just double crochet in the next 17 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oop, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, oops, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, let me double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, then you're going to half double crochet in the next 4 stitches. 1, yarn splits so much. 2, 3, and 4 half double crochet. All right, and then you are going to single crochet in the next 17 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And once you get there, that should lead you to that chain space right in the middle of the row. And then into that chain space, you're going to do 1 single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in that chain space, right? And then you're going to single crochet in the next 17 stitches, half double crochet in 4 stitches, and double crochet in 17 stitches, just like the beginning of the row. And after you do 17 single crochet, 4 half double crochet, and 17 double crochet, that'll be the end of the row, and I'll meet you there. All right, so here's the end of round 15. I finished off with my 17 double crochet. I already changed my yarn over, and now we're going to start on round 16. So for round 16, we're going to do every single stitch in the back loop. Make sure I got my yarn. Haven't sewn any of my ends, so it's kind of a bit of a mess over here. Okay, so round 16, everything will be done in the back loop. Chain 1 to start your round, and we're going to do something. It's going to be very simple. You're going to double crochet in every single double crochet. You're going to half double crochet in every half double crochet. You're going to single crochet in every single crochet until we get to the middle of our round right here. So that's basically going to be 17 double crochet, 4 half double crochet, and then it should be 18 single because we added a single in the middle last row. So once you get to the middle of your row, we'll meet up there. Just do what I just said. I repeat again. I was like repeating things like 10,000 times. Double crochet in every double crochet, half double in every half double, and single crochet in every single crochet. I'll meet up with you guys in the middle of the row. Okay, so I have double crocheted in every double crochet, etc., all in the back loop. Don't forget to do that. And I made it all the way up to the middle of the row, which is a chain 1 right in the middle. And into that chain 1, we are going to do a single crochet. I'm sorry, it's probably a chain 2. A single crochet, chain 2, single crochet into that chain space in the middle of your row. And then after you do that, you're going to continue single crocheting in every single crochet, half double and half double, double and double, all in the back loop until you get to the end of your row. All right, so I finished up that row and I did everything in the back loop as well. So now we're going to switch and we're going to get on, what row are we on? We are on row 17. I'm going to change my yarn color real quick. Okay, row 17, here we go. Start off with a chain 1 as per usual to begin your row. All right, so now we're going to do some more repeats. We're going to do the shell stitch again. So we're going to single crochet into the first stitch. So single crochet in the first stitch, and then we're going to skip 1 stitch. In the next stitch, we're going to double crochet 5. 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, and then we're gonna skip a stitch, and that is what we're going to repeat 9 times total. I'll show you again. Single crochet into the next stitch after you skipped a stitch. So single crochet, skip a stitch, I can't not talk, single crochet, skip a stitch, so many S's, and then double crochet 5 into the next stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then skip a stitch, and then repeat the single crochet, skip a stitch, double crochet 5 in the next stitch. So keep repeating the shell stitch until you have done it 9 times total, and you're just going to end with skipping a stitch. 2, 3, 4, 5, skip a stitch, single crochet, skip a stitch, double crochet 5. All right, so here I have 3 shells, so I'll catch up with you guys when you have 9 shells total. All right, I'm on my last repeat. Goodness gracious. I single crocheted, skipped a stitch, and now I'm on the double crochet 5, 3, 4, and 5, and then skip a stitch. All right, and that is the last of my 9 shells. So double crochet 5, skip a stitch, and next we are going to do a single crochet. So skip a stitch, a single crochet into the next stitch, and then you're going to skip 3 stitches. And skipping these next 3, 1, 2, 3, we're going to be going into the middle of our row, this chain 2 space right here. Into that chain 2 space, you're going to do 10 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you're going to skip 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and into the next stitch you're going to single crochet if I can. All right, and then we're going to start another repeat. The repeat is skip 1 stitch, double crochet 5 in the next stitch, skip 1 stitch, single crochet. So skip 1 stitch, double crochet 5 in the next stitch. We're basically doing shells again, by the way. 3, 4, 5, and then skip 1 stitch, single crochet in the next stitch. So let's do the repeat together one more time. Skip 1 stitch, double crochet 5 in the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip 1 stitch, single crochet in the next stitch. Continue that until you get to the end of the row. Right, I'm meet up with you guys at the end of the row. Okay, so I am doing my last shell stitch here at the end of row 17, doing my double crochet 5 in 1 stitch. All right, then I'm skipping a stitch and I'm single crocheting into the last stitch, and that completes row 17. Here's how it looks, super cute. All right, so I'm going to change colors real quick and we're going to jump right into row 18. All right, so I already chained 1 to start row 18. Now we're going to do some more repeats, and the repeat is going to be, I'll show you, we're going to double crochet in the first stitch, we're going to chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and then we're going to single crochet into the next stitch, and then we're going to chain 2 and skip 2, and that is the repeat. I'll do it with you again. Double crochet in the next stitch, that's after you did the last skip 2 stitches from the previous repeat. Chain 2, skip 2, 1, 2, single crochet in the next stitch, chain 2 stitches, and then skip 2 stitches. It's going to repeat that all together 9 times total, which will bring you up here. So I'll show you guys one more time. So we already skipped 2. So basically you're double crocheting in the single crochets, and then you're chaining 2, and then you're single crocheting in the 3rd double crochet of your shell stitch, the middle double crochet, and then you're chaining 2. That's basically what it is, if that makes it easier for you. Hold on. The yarn keeps splitting. Yeah, that's how it looks. And let's do that 9 times total, which will be basically on top of every single shell stitch until you get right around here before you get to the middle of the row. So one more time, double crochet in the single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in that 3rd double crochet, the middle of your shell stitch from the previous row, and chain 2. Just keep repeating that. I'll meet up with you guys after you've done that 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 times total. I have 5 more to go. So I just finished my last repeat, which was a double crochet, chain 2, single crochet, chain 2, and skip 2. All right, so after you skip 2, you're going to double crochet in the next stitch, which is the single crochet. So double crochet into that stitch, and then we're going to half double crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, oops, 2, sorry, crocheting through the camera is still difficult. 2, 3, 4, 5 half double crochets, and then we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to half double crochet in the next 5 half double crochets again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to do another repeat, which is going to be the same as what we did earlier. We're going to double crochet in the next stitch, chain 2, skip 2 stitches, single crochet in the next stitch, chain 2, skip 2. So keep repeating that. I'll show you one more time, just like the beginning. Double crochet in the next stitch, chain 2, skip 2 stitches, single crochet in the next stitch, chain 2 stitches, skip 2 stitches. So you're going to keep doing that 9 times until you get to the end of the row, and then you're going to double crochet in that last stitch. But I'll meet up with you guys there. Make sure that you do it right. Alright, so I am here on my last repeat. I single crocheted, now I'm chaining 2, and I'm skipping 2. And here we are at the end. I'm going to double crochet into that last stitch to finish round 18. Guys, we are we're like 2 rounds away from being done, which is crazy. So here's how row 18 looks. You can see. All right, let's get on to round 19. Okay, so now I attached my new yarn and we're going to start row 19. So chain 1 to start your your row, and then you're going to double crochet 3 in the first stitch. So 1, getting a little messy, 2, and 3. Oh, let me do that over again, sorry. The yarn split in like the worst way. So, like I said, double crochet 3 in the first stitch. You can do that a little bit better this time. Okay, that looks better. Okay, and then you're going to skip the 2 chains right here. So you're going to skip those 2 chains. And now we're going to do some more repeats. So after you skip those 2 chains, we're going to start our repeat, which is single crocheting in the next stitch, skipping 2 chains, and then double crocheting 5 into the next stitch, which is actually the double crochet. Goodness gracious. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then skipping 2 chains. That's what we're going to do over and over again. So here's the repeat. After you skip the 2 chains, single crochet in the next stitch, skip 2 chains, 5 double crochet in the next stitch, and then skipping 2 chains. So basically you're going to be single crocheting in every single crochet and doing 5 double crochet in the double crochets. We're going to do this all together 9 times until we get over here. So 9 times total. So this first one doesn't count. So we have 1 and we have 2. So do this 7 more times, 9 times total. The single crochet, skip 2, 5 double crochet, skip 2. Do that 9 times total. I'll meet up with you guys when we're done with those repeats. Alright, I just did the 9 repeats. That first one was not a repeat. We have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, so we ended off with 5 double crochet and then skip 2. So now let's go on to the next part. You're going to skip 2 and then so 1, 2. In the next stitch you are going to do a single crochet. Then we're going to skip 2 stitches. 1, 2. And now we're here at the chain 2 space. So into that chain 2 space, you're going to double crochet 9 stitches. 1, if I can double crochet correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Feel free to pause if you need to catch up. 9 double crochets in the chain 2 space. Now we're gonna fix that. Okay, it's not fixed. Anyway, okay, sorry. The yarn keeps splitting and I'm very confused. So 9 times. Okay, so now we're going to skip 2 stitches. 1, sorry, here's the top of it. 1, 2, and then into the next stitch we're going to start repeats again. So skip 2. So here's the start of the repeat. Single crochet, skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and on top of the double crochet you're going to double crochet 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 2 stitches and then restart the repeat, just like in the beginning of the row. So that repeat is single crochet on top of the single crochet, skip 2 chains in the next stitch, which is on top of the double crochet 5. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then skip 2 stitches. Continue that all the way until you get to the end of your row. In case you forgot, it's going to be single crochet, skip 2, double crochet 5, skip 2, single crochet, skip 2, double crochet 5, skip 2. And I didn't mention to do that repeat 9 times total, so you're going to end up with 9 shells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 4 more left. After you finish the 9 repeats, I'm going to show you how to do the end of the row. Okay, so I just finished the 9 repeats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh wait, I miscounted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so I did my 5 double crochet, skip 2. So after you skip the 2, into the next stitch, do a single crochet, and then skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, those last 2 chains. In the last stitch, you're going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And that is the end of row 19, but we're not going to fasten off because we are going to do a foundation single crochet. This is going to be the tie for one side of the bandana. So I have foundation single crochet linked in the description how to do it, but I want to show you guys real quick just in case. And if it's too fast, just go to the tutorial. It's a lot slower. So you're just going to chain 1. We're going to do 45 foundation single crochets, and I'm just going to insert it right into the side of that last double crochet. So chain 1, insert it into the side of the last double crochet, yarn over, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. That's 1 foundation single crochet. Now you're going to go into not this loop right here, you're going to go into this V right there that you created. So not here, you're going to go here. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. You're going to go not into here, into this V right here. Once again, tutorial is below how to do it. That's like a really quick tutorial how to do it. You're gonna keep doing that until you do it 45 times. You can count the top like stitches. No, that was my chain 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 41 left to go, and then fasten off after you do the 45 foundation single crochets. All right, I'll see y'all when we're done with this first half. All right, I just finished my foundation single crochet 45 foundation single crochets. All right, so now if you are like me and you waited till the last minute to fasten in your ends, I do that in case I mess up. So I don't fasten anything in case I messed up, but it's too late now. So fasten in all of your ends before we do this last part of the pattern. So I'm gonna go fasten my ends and watch some YouTube, and I'll meet up with you guys after we're done with that. So after you sew in all of your ends, start another foundation single crochet, but obviously starting off by itself. Just do 45 foundation single crochets, and this is going to be the other tie for the other side of the bandana. So after you do 45 of them, we'll meet back up and I'll show you how to connect it to your bandana. Alright, after you foundation single crochet your 45, make sure you don't fasten off, leave it on your hook, and then go to the other side of your bandana. You should be facing the front of it. The front has all of the ridges. You can see all the detail. So you're going to go to the side of it, and you're going to single crochet into the top of that last kind of half shell stitch, just to connect your tie. Do a simple single crochet. If I can get it through there. Okay, single crochet, and now your tie is attached. And now you're going to crochet as evenly as you can across the top of the bandana. There's not really a formula I have to this. I just kind of feel it out as I go, and I'm just crocheting across the top of it, or the front of it, the flat part, just as evenly as I can with single crochets. It's not going to look perfect unless you don't want to do a single crochet row at all. This part's kind of optional, but I like doing it to kind of give it some uniformness to it. It's a word. Some uniformness to it. But yes, all right. So here's what I have so far. And then I'm going to meet up with you guys after we evenly single crochet across the top. All right, good luck. All right, I just single crocheted as evenly as I could across the top. It's a little bumpy, but when you wear, it'll stretch out and it looks perfectly fine. Okay, so here we are to where we started the original foundation single crochet of 45. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slip stitch to it here. So here's the single crochet I just did to finish off the top border. I'm just going to slip stitch to the foundation single crochet that we first did, and there it is, perfectly straight across. Now we're just going to fasten off and sew in our ends. Alright, so that is how you create the mini Wanderlust bandana. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Let me know how you liked it. Comment below and make sure to watch some of my other videos next, like this one or this one. Have an awesome day, my crochet kings and queens. Bye.